We keep hearing all about how women are terrified everywhere, how contraception isn't going to be available. As a woman, I am not worried about any of those things.
As a rich woman, no. Her access to contraception or abortion will probably never be in doubt. However, let's go back 50 years. Contraception used to be illegal in many states. In 1965, the Supreme Court ruled the right to privacy included the right for married couples to control when and whether to have children. So it was unconstitutional to deny them access to contraception. It took another 7 years for that right to be extended to unmarried women. The following year, the court decided that the right to privacy also included the right to an abortion. These cases are all linked, and it would not take much to unravel them.
Good evening. In a landmark ruling, the Supreme Court today legalized abortions. The majority in cases from Texas and Georgia said that the decision to end a pregnancy during the first 3 months belongs to the woman and her doctor, not the government.
We've been hearing about the threat of Roe v. Wade being overturned for 40 years, and all of the posturing and scare tactics that are being used are not only dishonest, but they're very surface-level arguments that don't get us to the crux of the issue in debating whether Kavanaugh is a valid, credentialed nominee to be sitting on the Supreme Court.
At a time when the Republicans are trying to defund Planned Parenthood, allow your employer to control whether you can afford contraception or not, and pushing abstinence-only education, it is not a scare tactic to worry about these issues. It is simply reality.
You still want Roe versus Wade to be overturned?
Well, I do.
Let's look at Roe versus Wade. If Roe versus Wade were reversed, it would not mean that abortion would become illegal across this country.
Exactly.
It would simply mean that it would not be guaranteed as a constitutional right.
This argument simply erases the very real concerns of millions of women who live in states that would immediately outlaw abortion.
The left is already conjuring up the hysteria, claiming that this means abortion will be outlawed in America. That's simply untrue, even if you overturn Roe v. Wade.
New York, there are going to be very liberal states. It does not mean that abortion is going to be outlawed.
It's a lie perpetuated by the left.
So let's talk a little bit about what happens when people have access to a procedure in one state, but not in others. For some women, this is not a big deal. If you live in Philadelphia and Pennsylvania outlaws abortion, but it's legal in New Jersey and Delaware, having to cross a state line may mean traveling 20 minutes. But if you live in Miami and Florida bans abortion, you are a 6-hour drive from the nearest state. That's not something you can do easily in a day. Let's think through the logistics potentially involved here. 1. You need to take 2 days off work, possibly more if the state you are traveling to has a mandatory waiting period. If you're an hourly worker, that could mean several days of lost wages. 2. You need money for gas, or the bus, or even a flight, plus meals. 3. You need to find somewhere to stay. 4. Considering 60% of women obtaining abortions already have children, it means making arrangements for childcare. 5. Finally, you have to find the money for the procedure itself, because it's likely your insurance does not cover abortion. One of these things alone may be doable, but together, they can easily become insurmountable.